Hi everyone. Today we're here with Larkin and Dazzles working on our how to groom a pony video. Hi Larkin.
Hi Auntie.
Can you please show us the first brush that we're going to use today?
So there are two variations. This is called a curry comb. This is what they
Okay. So we're going to start at the top of the pony and work your way down and back, making circles, and the circles goes towards the horse's head, right? Mm-hmm. All right, we circle towards his head so that we can get under his hair. So Larkin's carrying his shoulder, and then she's going to move up to his withers. His withers are that big bone that stick up at the end of his neck, connecting his back. Some horses are a little more sensitive on their belly area than others. Dazzles isn't super sensitive. If they are sensitive, they wiggle around and they switch their tail, and you can just use less pressure in those areas and the softer side of the curry comb if they're a little sensitive. Now we're going to get up top by his tail. Dazzles looks like he worked hard at getting dirty today.
Oh yes.
Alright, so when we groom their legs, we always squat down next to them, staying fairly close to them. We never kneel, we never sit. And if you need a hand to balance you, you can rest your hand on the horse. We never put our hand on the floor, because the horse could take a step over towards us and accidentally stand on our hand. So Larkin's going up and down, currying his legs. We go up and down on the legs. The area is too narrow to make circles on. And if your horse has thin hair and is sensitive on their legs, you can use the softer side of the curry. All right, the next brush we're going to use is the
hard brush.
And how can you tell a hard brush from a soft brush?
If you feel the bristles of the brush, you can feel that they're very hard on your hand.
Right, they're more stiff.
Yeah, compared to being soft.
Okay, can you show us how to use this?
So
hard brush.
When we use the hard brush, we go in the way of their fur and we dust off all the dust that the curry comb brought up to the surface.
Great. We're going to go in long downward strokes and try to brush that dirt off. We always, again, start at the top and the front of the horse and work your way down and back. And the reason we do that is so that we're not brushing dirt onto an area that we have already brushed off. Dazzles is very inquisitive about being filmed. Good, you want to reach under their belly, and you can even feel with your other hand to feel if there's any dirty, sticky areas. Make sure that there's no sticky areas, especially where the girth goes.
His belly's nice and soft.
Good. A lot of times if there's still remaining dirt on them from manure or urine, it'll feel stiff and sticky. And we always brush in the direction of the hair. Dazzles has piles of dirt on him today. Good. Once again, as you're brushing their legs, you stay close to them, squat, and don't put your hands on the floor. You can balance with a hand on their leg. Okay, Larkin's going to show us how to use the soft side of the curry mitt on the pony's face, followed by the soft brush. How do you want to maybe put a hand on his halter to steady his head? Good. And we want to curry all the parts of his head.
Good boy.
Dazzles loves his forehead being curried. He loves this part being curried.
So we move to this side.
We'll put one hand on the halter so that we don't accidentally poke them in the eye. And I like to move the halter back a little bit so we can get that area behind their ears where the bridle's gonna sit. Dazzles is looking like he's enjoying that. Good. And then we're gonna use the soft brush. All right, can you grab that soft brush?
Yeah.
Perfect. And again, hold the halter with one hand, working your way from top to bottom, because we definitely want to brush the dirt off, not onto the same spots. And you can brush over their eye, nice and gently with the soft brush. That's one of the reasons we use the nice soft brush, so that if we do touch their eye, it doesn't bother them, because they close their eyes as we brush over them. And you want to brush behind their ears and under their halter where the bridle is going to sit. And under their chin. Good job. And if he'll let you, you can even brush his nostrils a little bit. Hold the halter with one hand. There you go. Very good. All right. Now Larkin's going to show us how to use the hair brush, which is the mane and tail brush, to brush Dazzle's forelock, mane, and tail properly.
It looks pretty similar to a hairbrush that you might use at home. So first, we'll start off by
Holding the halter.
combing his forelock. Making
Good.
sure all of it.
So that hair in between his ears on his forehead is called his forelock.
Then we move to his mane. Their mane's a little bit shorter, but...
And their mane should be on the right side of their neck. Sometimes it prefers to fall in both directions. Sometimes it falls all to the left. If it is looking like it's sitting on the right side of the mane, we keep encouraging it to fall to the right by brushing it down on this side. Great. So then we're going to go in front of the horse to go around to the back of him and hold his tail off to the side. And it takes a really long time to grow the horse's tail. So Larkin, will you explain the right way to brush his tail out?
When you're brushing their tail, you want to hold a little chunk and then brush. And then once you got that, you grab a little bit more of their tail and then you brush through that. And then you keep doing that pretty close until you get to the tailbone, which is right around here.
And then you can brush from the top down.
Yeah.
But you want to brush all those snarls out without ripping the hair out. If their tail is very snarly, what do?
We use some of the mane and tail detangler.
That's right. So we give them a little spray with the detangler. And sometimes I do this in the beginning of my grooming and let it dry a little bit, and then it's easier to brush out. All right, but Larkin's going to finish brushing his tail. Oh, much easier. We don't want to rip any of that beautiful tail out. And again, we always stand on the side of the horse when we're brushing their tail. You can pull the tail over to your side, but you don't want to stand behind them because they can back up and step on you.
Kind of like Rapunzel. Much easier to brush the ends now. Okay, Auntie, what do we use to clean their hooves?
This is called a hoof pick. There's many types of hoof picks. This one happens to have a pick end brush, and it's a good thing to have the brush to clean the frog. We'll show you all the parts of the hoof. So in order to clean their hooves, you want to stand facing their rear. Lean against them with your shoulder and run your hand down their legs, squeezing a little bit. Then your hand is going to be supporting their hoof, and you're going to pick away from you from heel to toe, right around the outside edge of this triangular structure of their foot called the frog. The frog is a little more sensitive than the rest of their hoof, so we don't use the pick on the frog, we brush it off. When you're done picking the hoof, you're going to make sure your feet are out of the way of where their hoof is going to go, and you can gently lower their hoof back down to the ground.
There's a nice space between the hoof and your feet.
Okay, so now we're going to do his back foot, which is a similar process to the front. Stand close to them, run your hand down the back of their leg, and as they lift their hoof, you're going to put your hand under their hoof on the inside of it to support it. Now we're going to pick from heel to toe. These are the horse's heels, and this is his toe. And then we're going to brush the frog. And again, make sure our feet are not under their feet, and lower their hoof down to the ground gently. Sometimes they'll put their own hoof down on their own time. Good job.